Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here. We are on the last Monday of January already. 2025 is in full force. We are at the end of the month, and oh my goodness, I feel like it has gone by quick. Even though many of us feel like January is one of those really long months, honestly, if you look at it, it's crazy to think that Christmas was already a month away, a month ago, and we're already into the full force of 2025. So today I wanted to step back a little bit and talk about health a little bit. Now, this podcast is Flourish and Health. So my original thoughts about the podcast was that I would talk a lot about health, but I've really talked mostly about the healthy mindset versus the healthy body. And I have been going through some different things, so I'm going to share a little bit of my heart today and a little bit about health, and hopefully it will be one that's encouraging to you and also helpful. Hi, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie Book, and I am so glad you are here. My hope is to help others see their life beyond where they currently are right now, move away from places where they feel stuck, and empower them to move into a flourishing life. Together, we will learn to recognize our true identity in Christ and apply a reframed mindset to combat the lies that we've been believing about ourselves. We will walk the journey of flourishing in our health, in mind, body, and our connection with God. I'm so excited to walk this journey with you as we create new habits of thinking and turn toward a life that is flourishing. Before we jump into the episode, I wanted to make sure that I gave you the opportunity to connect with me with your health. So I am offering some free one-on-one calls that we can connect. We can talk about the different goals that you have in your health and see how maybe I can help you in your health journey. You'll see as I go through the episode of the different things that I have learned and how I could maybe help you. So just put chat in the comments and I will reach out to you. We'll schedule a time to connect one-on-one. There's no pressure to do the different things, but sometimes I know that for me it was helpful to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I need some help. So make sure to put chat in the comments and I will definitely have that free one-on-one call with you and we'll see if we can set up something to help you reach your goals. Okay, so today I feel like it's Confessions with Stephanie, but I wanted to share a little bit that's been going on in my heart, a little bit about my health journey. If you are new to me, if you haven't been listening to the Flourish and Health podcast, you may not know a little bit of my story and what caused me to even start this podcast and why it's called Flourish and Health. And so today I'm going to share a little bit of something that I really don't know if I wanted to share. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of difficult and I think I've been putting some of this off and I know that it's time to share about it. We're into the end of January, the first month of the year, and I know at this point a lot of times we have had some goals that we've set for our health and maybe other areas in our life, and things have happened and we might have been off track a little bit for what we're striving toward. And so I think that it's nice. A lot of people will say, February 1st is their new January, right? It doesn't matter. You can start today as your date one to start working on your goals. It doesn't have to have a specific date, but I get it. I know we like to have that specific date to start. And so I thought this would be a good time to talk a little bit about my journey and also how maybe I can help you or give you some tips of things I'm learning along the way. So back in 2018, January 2018, I just celebrated 7 years of focused work on my health journey. And I am definitely not the same girl that reached out for help back in January of 2018 saying, I am tired of trying to do this on my own, trying to figure it all out. I needed some help. And so I stepped into what I thought was a way to lose some weight that really has transformed my life in so many different ways. So I have grown in confidence and I've learned how to grow in my mindset and learn how to reframe things and so much more. I've learned how to eat healthier for my body and I've understood the importance of community and having a coach. And so all of those things grew when I raised my hand and said, hey, I need a little help. And really over those last 7 years, it's been a journey, right? We work through our health and I used to think there was a start and an end goal when it came with health. You're at a certain weight, you want to get to the next weight, and then you're done. But really, health is a journey. It's something that fluxes with us, goes up and down as our lives change, as things happen in our lives, as our bodies change, as different, you approach different ages, you approach different things that are going on with your body. There's different emotions that come, different stages of life. All of these different things are constantly changing. And so it's a journey. It's a health journey. It's not a weight loss. It's not a diet, but it's a change in your habits of health. And that's what I learned when I stepped in and asked for help back 7 years ago. I needed to have a way. I wanted to lose weight, but what I got to learn was habits that I could create to live a healthy and full life. And so I have embraced that, and I did great. I lost 40 pounds that first year. I was feeling really good. I was feeling healthy and strong, and I could not believe that I was releasing weight. And so I just was on fire. And now it's been 7 years. So it's hard to go back and remember exactly all the feelings I had before, because obviously a lot has changed. But over the last year, I would say in 2024, it was a little bit more of a difficult year for me. A little bit different things changing in my life, and some things I've shared in here. And so I had a flux of up and down emotions really over the last 7 years, of course, because life is life, right? But really in the last couple years, things were different. So obviously, when I started my health journey, I was telling everybody about this. I was so excited about it. I stepped into coaching in the May of 2018, and I have been helping people walk through their health journey since then. And I just was like on fire, excited to tell everybody because I felt so good and I wanted everyone to feel that way. And so time goes by, and eventually, no one recognizes me as the old Stephanie. They see me as the new one. And so maybe people weren't reaching out as often, and so things were slowing down for my business a little bit, at least my reach. Maybe my excitement wasn't as high, though I was living my best life. I saw some ups and downs even with my business. And if you're in business, we know, right, there's an up and down in business as well. Just like our health journey, our business is a journey as well. And then, of course, we hit 2020, and we all know 2020 just changed so many things in our lives. And I don't know if anything will ever be back. I don't think we can say, I just want to go back to normal, because we have a new normal. We have new things that we are approaching every day. We have new ways of stepping into things. And in 2020, 2021, people were all into helping their bodies. They wanted to be healthy. We were afraid of the coronavirus. We were afraid of what might happen if we don't take care of ourselves. And so health was on a rise. And so many people wanted to know about health. And I just remained constant. I didn't have a huge uproar of people asking about health, but I did have some that they were curious about their health. They wanted to be, investing in themselves, in their health. And then after a couple years, what happened, it kind of changed, right? Because first of all, more and more opportunities, different opportunities for weight release were coming in the forefront of people's minds, because everybody wanted to be healthy. So many different people stepped in and said, I can help, I can help, I can help. And that's okay. That's good. I want health to be a focus for people. But then things kind of shifted for me a little bit in how I was maybe reaching out to people. And eventually people were excited to be out, and health wasn't as much of a focus. And I don't know, I'm sharing this just because it's been on my heart a little bit, because I've seen that up and down. I've seen that change not only in my health, but in my business as well. We became comfortable with being okay. We wanted to spend time out with people, which is important too. We want to make sure that we are living our best life, but we do need to make sure that we're also focusing on our bodies that we have. We've been given one life, and we want to live them to the fullest, but we want to make sure that we are able and capable to do the things that we want to do for longevity, to be able to change our lives health-wise, so that we have the ability to do the things we want to do for a very long time. So there's that balance that we need to learn about, having focus on living that full life, doing what we want to do, but also making sure that we're taking care of our health. So this is the confession part, I guess, that comes up. So I felt like over the last 6 years, maybe 5.5, 6 years, I pretty much maintained my weight release within about 5 pounds or so up and down. I've always remained pretty faithful in my workouts. I actually enjoy my exercise. It's probably something that I have loved, getting stronger, and I look forward to it. It's not a punishment anymore. It used to be I had to work out because I had to release those calories and feel better about myself. And now it really is more about strength. I want to be stronger and be able to have that longevity, be able to regain or activate my muscles, because I know that once you turn 30, your muscle starts deteriorating, it starts going away. And so we want to make sure that we're building it up. And so the exercise part has been fun, but my habits that I have created a little bit kind of started to get off a little bit. I got a little bit lazier with different things. And especially this past year with a lot of different emotional things I feel like that I walked through, it really was a wavering year of my health. And so I think I have not talked as much about health because I'll be honest, I think I was feeling a little bit like an imposter because I gained a little bit more weight than I would have wanted to gain. And I feel good. I'm stronger probably than I've ever been in my life. So some of that is muscle gain. But let's be honest, some of it was poor choices that maybe I was not making to serve my body well. And some of the choices was actually not feeding myself enough food. And that was my first thing I learned back in 2018 was that sometimes I was making the wrong choices and other times I wasn't fueling my body well. I wasn't giving myself enough nutrients. And so over the time I've gained a little bit of weight and I felt uncomfortable. And so I felt like an imposter. How do you share about health and say you're a wellness coach if you are not at your best health? But then I really started thinking about it, and so many times I'll tell the clients that I work with, it's progress, not perfection. I've talked about this here before, how different it can be, how it is a journey, and we want to focus on those little millimeters of changes. And so yes, maybe I have made some choices that didn't serve my body well, but I've still made a lot of really good choices. I drink water every day. That was something I never did before. I have so much water every day. I get my workouts in most weeks, at least 5 to 6 workouts a week, and I love it. And I feel my body throughout the day. I have had those healthy habits that I have stuck to. I just maybe have made bigger choices or extra choices that maybe didn't serve my body well. And some of it too is changes in life and emotionally and physically, some different things that happen. Moving my mom into assisted living, having my youngest move out and start us being like empty nesters, having my son in and out of different jobs and traveling and all those different things. Those are part of my journey that has also changed. And I turned 50 years old. So there's that whole area of, what happens as your body starts as a woman, especially as you start getting older. So obviously, those are things that have happened. They're not excuses, but they are reality. They are part of my life. It's part of things that have shifted and changed in my life. And because it's a journey, one of those things is those habits, those mindset habits, though I talk about them all the time. Sometimes the person that knows the most about it is the person that needs to work on it the most, right? I can tell everybody what to do, but sometimes I need to step in and do it for myself. And so I stopped looking at what I could celebrate along the way. I started being in comparison mode, looking at what other people were doing and thinking, oh, I should be like that or should, and the shoulds and woulds and couldas started coming back in. Maybe my healthy habits, like, oh, I'll just have a little bite of this or a little bite of this or extra bite of that. Those different things came in. And not in any of those things are bad. At time, we are able to indulge in things in moderation. We're able to take moments of celebrating and, having that piece of cheesecake and things like that. That's okay. And an occasional thing. But I think it became more and more of, I have a right to do it versus, or an emotional response to it, and then really what was going to do best for me. And so I thought, how can this help you? Me telling you my story. Well, first, I want to be authentic and let you know, as a health coach, I'm not perfect. I'm 50 years old, so I started my plan in 2018, so that's 7 years. So 43 years before that, I have lived a certain way. I had mindset, thoughts, I had things about who I was, how I saw myself, how I saw food, how I saw dieting, how I saw nutrition, exercise, all of those things. I had 43 years of doing things a certain way. And those 7 years, I've had a time of learning and how to grow and to change into what's happening. And so I'll be honest, I let some emotions get in my way. Some of it was just poor choices. Some of it was I would stop. Our program talks about stop, challenge, and choose. And I would stop and I would challenge it probably not long enough and then just choose it anyways. And so it's okay. So I wanted to be real because I want you to know, like, if you have been on a health journey before and you have slipped back to old habits, or you never had a chance to work on your habits and you just did a diet and then you gained it back, like, I want to let you know that, first of all, every time you make a choice to work on your health or work on your mindset or the other areas in your life you want to grow, every time you make a choice and you make it step forward, that is progress. And we want to make sure that we're celebrating that. But we also want to make sure we have some tools in our buckets to help us walk through this journey. And so I'm going to share a couple things that are helping me as I walk through this. I'm adapting a little bit. I'm learning how to bring in more protein into my diet because, like I said, I lived with a deficit for quite a while, and then I was cheating, or I don't like to use the word cheating, but I was making choices because my body wasn't getting fueled the right way. So it was craving things that it didn't need. And I was making choices that I didn't need to fill that up rather than going back to what I knew. But I also was learning that I needed some more protein now that I have lived such a similar habit life for so long. And so this month I have been adding some more protein in and more whole foods in, and it's been an adjustment. And I have gone through that emotion again of, oh no, what am I going to do? Am I going to do this right? And I started getting so much in my head. I even cried the other day because I was like, this is not right. Something is not good. And I had to sit back and I had to say, wait a second. First of all, what am I speaking over myself? And then two, what can I control? Well, I can control, first of all, asking for some coaching, asking for some guidance. And so I reached out to someone that has been adding more protein and asked her some questions, and she gave me some guidance. Then I asked a community to help. I had some people that said, hey, I'm struggling with this right now. I'm contending for my health. I want to see some changes, and I've slipped back in some old habits. How would you support me in that? Would you keep me accountable to the things that I'm doing? And really just say, hey, this is where I'm at. And they were able to remind me that it's a journey, that I have all the habits that I am getting to create, that I have time. I'm allowed to take on the things that maybe have emotionally hit me, and know that does play a part, that our emotions is part of it. Knowing that I'm 50 years old and my body is changing, like taking that into consideration. So they were able to shift that perspective for me a little bit and be like, yes, do you want to still work on your goals? I want to encourage you to be working on becoming the best self that you can be, the best Stephanie that you can be, but also give yourself some grace. And so I appreciate that. And then mindset, getting back into feeding my mind with the right things, not scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and watching all the reels. Though we can do that some, that's fine. You can have fun, but what am I feeding into my mind? I realized I wasn't really spending that much time listening to my podcasts or my books. I wasn't reading as much as I wanted. I wasn't really doing my affirmations. I really was kind of slipping back to old habits. And so I was able to reset that as well. So why do I tell you all this? Well, one, because I thought maybe somebody else needed to hear this. Maybe I don't want to come across as that perfect health coach, that perfect girl that knows all the things, because I am far from perfect. I have made lots of mistakes, and I will continue to do so because I'm human, and because I'm on a journey too. But I wanted to give you a few things that you should focus on as you are looking at your health or the goals that you're working on. So first of all, ask for help. Don't try to do it alone. Back 7 years ago, I raised my hand and I asked for help, and that was exactly what I needed to allow myself to get the coaching that I needed. I think coaches so often we think, well, we don't need help. I've got it figured out. And I've had a lot of clients, honestly, who started off with me and then said, I've figured it out, and then they'll stop. And sometimes they stay with their goals, and sometimes they've lost completely off track because maybe they didn't have that accountability, or they haven't built their habits, or they just weren't ready to start. And I don't know. Everyone has their own journey, but I know that having someone that's guiding you along the way, even one step ahead, will help you. So reach out for help. Don't do it by yourself. Yes, the Google machine will give us lots of information. We can watch all the videos, but we can talk to somebody else that can walk through and guide them through. And so that's why I love being able to offer coaching to people with their health and coaching with their mindset, because I have walked through a huge transformation in my body and in my mind. And so, if you need help with that, put coach in the comments, and I would be glad to have a conversation with you and see how I could help you maybe grow in your mindset. What are these habits that you're talking about? How can I create that? What do you mean affirmations and all the things that I talk about on here? I want to coach other people that way, not because I'm perfect, but because of things I've learned along the way might help you. So ask for a coach, ask for help. Second one is surround yourself with a community. Now, with my health program, I have a whole community that has surrounded me, that has been my lifeline so many times. And so who do you have in your corner? Who are those 5 people that are around you spend the most time with? Are they ones that are encouraging you towards your goals? Are they ones that can uplift you? Are they the ones that will help you see those millimeters steps that you've made along the way? Or are they ones that are tearing you down? Are they the ones that are pulling you away from the goals that you have? Look at those people and see what community you have around you. And if you don't have one, start one. Find who else is around you that you can pull in and say, hey, let's do this together. I know we're better together. Let's do that. And my program obviously has that community built in. And even with my business area, I have a community there where I'm learning and growing. And so I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to have community. Find some people around you that can support you. And then next thing is, step into building those small habits one at a time. I think sometimes we jump in and we try to do too many things at once. And so we can start focusing on baby steps. Your coach might guide you through some different things you can do, but let's look at progress, not perfection. Work on little millimeters at a time, little baby steps at a time to work towards the things that we're going. I think we all want that instant gratification right now, right? Yes. Do I want to be back down the weight that I gained last month or last year? Yes, I do. And I want it done already. So start working on recognizing your millimeters of steps. What little bit of progress can you work toward every single day? What's 1 millimeter? What's one tiny step that you can move forward? Don't look at everything as this huge picture because that sets us up for failure. But look at one little mile marker, one little millimeter at a time, and set those goals and celebrate those, and then move on to the next goal. And you will get to start seeing that ripple effect of more and more changes and growth in there. Friends, I hope that today was helpful. I spent a lot of time talking about me and my journey, but I wanted you to see that, it's not perfection that we're looking at. And as a coach, I'm not perfect, but I have learned a lot of things along the way. And I know that as I continue to grow, I want to encourage you to continue to grow as well. So if any of this resonated with you, if you need any help with anything that I mentioned today, please reach out. All of my information is always in the show notes, but I just want to make sure that you know that you are valuable and you're worthy of doing amazing things, that God has created you in the most perfect way that He wants you to be, and you just get to step into that life that He's given you and live it to the best. And you are worthy of investing in yourself. You're worthy of taking those steps to move towards what you want to create in your life. And you know what? Again, perfection isn't what's needed, but as you make those little millimeter steps to walk forward, you get to create the life that you want. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great, great day. Thank you so much for joining me as we walk towards this life of flourishing. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and would love, love, love for you to take a moment to subscribe to my podcast and maybe even leave a review. Likes and reviews like yours will allow my podcast to be seen by others and hopefully help them as they walk through their own journey of growth. So until next time, Please remember that you are amazing, my friend, and you are meant to live a life full and flourishing. Take care.